Hey, what's up guys? Houston here. And for those of you just finding my YouTube channel, welcome. Please remember to hit that subscribe button and that bell. Now, for those of you that's been supporting me and following me, as always, salute. Now, today's video, we're going to actually be talking about how to leverage debit cards to build credit. That's right, using your own debit card to build credit. Many people are not even aware of this technique or if it even works, but trust me, the industry's changing. There's a lot of fintech companies that are out in the market that's really trying to help people rebuild their credit. So today we're going to be talking about some of these here companies and how they can help leverage your debit card to help you build credit. And as always, as a community announcement, please check in on your neighbors, check in on your elderly, make sure that they have water. Again, like I tell you guys, a lot of our neighbors, because they are living on a limited budget. A lot of them this time of year when it's hot, they do not turn on their air conditions, right? And they'll just sit up in a hot house and stuff. So I ask you guys to check in on the elderly, okay? As well as checking on the single mothers and single fathers, okay? And for those that you think that need some help, you can guide them over to USA.gov, okay? That's a great platform to be able to find different resources to help them to get food on the table, help get utility bills paid and stuff like that. That's one thing about the elderly. They're not really aware of a lot of these resources and stuff like that. And so I definitely would encourage you, please check in on the elderly. Make sure that they're keeping themselves hydrated and eating food and everything. Even if they don't have the air conditioners on, make sure that they have some fans, some good ventilation and stuff like that to help them. So that I wanted to say, I know that we're talking about debit cards building credit, but that's so important in our communities to start looking out for our elderly as well as our single mothers and single fathers. All right. Now let's talk about the debit cards that build credit with no credit check. That's another thing. With these here new fintech companies, they're actually not going to be doing hard inquiries on your credit to help you. The reason is because you're going to be using your own money, right? And so the thing about it, I talk to a lot of people and they're like, well, you know, my landlord won't report my rent payments and stuff like that. That's okay. Now we got a solution so you don't have to worry about the landlord not reporting. We got a solution for that. All right. So the first card we're going to talk about is Extra. Okay. Now Extra is a new fintech company and they're actually, what they're doing is, again, they're taking your debit card transaction and they're reporting those to the credit bureaus. Okay. And so it's very important that you all understand the process. And the process with using Extra, they want you to connect your bank account, okay? And all of your transactions you do with your debit card, at the end of the month, they'll total those up, and that's what they actually report to the credit bureaus, okay? Now, this is different from having a secured card, and the reason is because with a secured card, you have to put money on the card and everything, where with the debit card, you're actually just doing your daily transactions anyway. So again, like if you may be paying your car note with your debit card, your rent with your debit card. So again, that can be a large trade line that's reporting to the credit bureaus to help build up your credit, okay? So here's another card that's actually doing the same thing. It's called Zorro, the Zorro card, all right? And it has the same functionality. And for some of you guys that may have used some of these here services, put a comment. Let me know. Did it really help boost up your credit? Did they report all of your debit transactions? So if you're experiencing this or you're in the middle of experiencing this, let me know. What do you think about these here cards? Is it something that you really can leverage in order to help you build your credit? Because a lot of people, they're trying to build their credit and stuff like that, and it's maybe hard for them to put money on a secured card because they don't have the money, or they just don't know exactly where to start. So this is a few of the best places to start. And again, you have Extra, you have you have Extra, you have Zorro, and then you have Credit AI, right? Excuse me. Now, with Credit AI, again, they reporting your credit utilization. They actually don't even have no fees. So they have no fees, no interest rates that they're charging. And with Credit AI, if you sign up with them, with your paycheck, you can get it 2 days earlier. It was the similar thing with Chime, but right now, Chime is in a lot of trouble, okay? So a lot of people are like running away from Chime because Chime have been closing down bank accounts and stuff like that. And a lot of people are starting to have big issues with Chime and everything. So an opposite of Chime, then Credit AI is definitely one of the ones that you want to, Credit AI is definitely one of the ones you want to take a look at. Again, they're using the income you're already making and you're paying your bills. They're using that data to help build up your credit. Okay. Now here's another one. The X1 card. It's called the X1 card. All right. And with the X1 card, it's called the X1 Visa at that. Again, all these cards that I'm talking about, they're actually going off of your income. This is how and it's actually a Visa card. So it goes off, with X1 is actually going off of your income, okay, to be qualified. So whatever your income is in the bank, that's the credit limit that they actually give you, okay? And they report this to the credit bureaus, okay? And there's no annual fees on the card. So again, the game is changing to make it much easier for people that don't have no social security number, or people that have bad credit or just starting credit, to make it much easier for you guys to start building credit. Now, something I must tell you, that towards September, October, some of the major banks like Chase and stuff, what they're doing, if you have a thin credit file, or if you don't have any credit, what they're going to do, they're going to start compiling your banking information from other financial institutions to help you get qualified for credit cards as well. Okay, so the major banks are going to start doing something similar to help you get qualified for credit cards. Now, here's something I want you all to know, and it's a big announcement. If you guys, any of you guys have taken out a personal line of credit with Wells Fargo. Okay, I'm gonna get back to talking about the debit cards, but this is very important because this is shady what Wells Fargo is doing. What they're doing, if you've taken out a personal line of credit, okay, and you use that personal line of credit already, well, guess what? Soon they're going to be closing those personal lines of credit down, which is going to affect your credit. So if you have a balance on your personal line of credit, then that balance is going to be there and it's going to hurt your credit. So I just want you all to be aware of that. So if you have a personal line of credit, not a personal loan, but a personal line of credit, okay, Wells Fargo is going to be closing those personal lines of credit down, and it's going to hurt your credit score. So just keep that in mind if you have a balance on those personal lines of credit. So I just wanted to let you know about that, all right? Now here's another institution called Grow Credit. Okay, now again, if some of you guys are already utilizing any of these cards, okay, to help build your credit, put a comment below. Let me know if it's working for you. Do you like the process? I know for many people, they may have a little issue with giving access to their bank accounts and everything, and I understand that. But at the same time, if you're building your credit, okay, if you're building your credit, then leveraging your bank account to be able to help you build your credit, you know, it's a trade-off, you know. Also, for some of you all that are trying to build a relationship with Navy Federal, again, that in itself, I know a lot of people really focus on being over at Navy Federal and stuff like that. There's other financial institutions out there that can help you rebuild your credit and stuff, that have starter loans, pledge loans and stuff like that, secured cards to help you as well. So I'll talk about a few of those in a minute. But at the same time, let's get back talking about these debit cards that build credit with no credit check. Okay, you have grow credit. Okay, and with grow credit, it's on monthly subscriptions, right? And so, like if you paying your Hulu bill, if you're paying your Netflix, your Spotify bill and stuff, so they're taking that information and reporting. Also with Experian Boost, remember Experian Boost is doing the same thing. Okay, so now you have two platforms that are taking your subscriptions, your monthly subscription accounts, and they're reporting it to the credit bureaus. Okay, so this is really going to help a lot of people that are struggling to build up their credit. They don't have money for security cards and stuff like that. Well, this is alternative ways for you to actually build your credit with just using debit cards, your regular transactions and stuff. This actually helps you build up your credit. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Now here's another card. It's called the Tomo card. And many people have talked about this. I even talked about this. A lot of people talk about the Tomo card, okay? And in terms of the Tomo card, again, it goes off your bank account. So you got anywhere from $1,000 up to a $10,000 credit line, okay, on the Tomo card. So in terms of no credit check, these are the things you want, so they're not putting hard inquiries on your credit to bring it down, but these is positive trade lines that you're adding. The more positive trade lines that you add to the account, the better it's going to boost your credit. So if you have a low credit score and stuff like that, just by signing up for some of these accounts that are just using your debit card to report transactions and stuff, this is the way to help you build your credit, okay, without the secured cards. Now, I'm not against secured cards. Again, I always talk about leveraging secured cards, but at the same time, why not use debit cards since you're doing your daily transactions and having that end of the month transaction of total transactions reported to the credit bureau? All right, so I think this is something that's really going to change the game for a lot of people. Now, here's something. The Patel 2. Okay. Now, why is this card so different? The reason this card is so different, again, it's no credit. So if you don't have no credit, it's definitely going to help you out. And it's income based. So again, it's still looking at your actual income to determine how much of a credit line they're willing to give you. And it's actual credit card. Okay, it's not a secured card. So that's the great part about it. It's an actual revolving card. It's not a secured card. So that's also helping you build up your credit. All right. Now remember the factors in terms of understanding how to build up your credit. Okay, you build up your personal credit and stuff. You want to reduce your inquiries, right? And so I did tell you all the secret to reducing your inquiries. When you have a whole lot of inquiries that happen all at once, you want to call the fraud department of the credit bureaus and let them know that, hey, I did not agree to or I never did business with these companies, and these inquiries is on my credit file. And usually within 24 hours, some of these credit bureaus, they would remove that information. Some of them want you to send over your information to verify it was you that called in or whatever, but at the same time, that's how you remove inquiries, usually within 24 to 48 hours. Okay, just verifying it was you and you actually never did business with these companies and stuff like that, and they'll usually remove them. Okay, so that's a little secret that can help you. Now here's another card. Deserve. Okay, Now, the interesting thing about this, with the Deserve card, you don't have to have a Social Security number. So how many of us that have relatives that are in the country and stuff that don't have a Social Security number? They can't get their proper visas and stuff. So, and also there's no security deposit. Okay. So there's no security deposits. That's also a good thing, right? So again, you're not having to come out of pocket. All right. Now here's something that I'm going to tell you guys that I would definitely tell you to pay attention to. I made a video explaining about the pledge loans and about the different lenders and stuff in order to give you a loan. And because you need loans on your credit. What people are doing, okay, they may get a pledge loan from Navy Federal, just using them as an example. And so I put the video so you can actually see it. But what happens is that they would get a pledge loan and they'll end up paying the pledge loan off early. So it won't give an impact on their credit, okay? And whenever you don't have a loan on your credit score can drop as well. So having a loan on your credit is very important, all right? So if you have a loan on your credit, pay it down as far as you can, but don't pay it off. You want to string it along, okay? As a longer period as you can. So that's what you need to understand, because when you pay it off and all you have is revolving credit, then what ends up happening, your credit score will drop. Okay, because you don't have nothing else that's helping prop the credit up. So that's why that's important. Now, in terms of, like I said, you're starting out and you're rebuilding your credit using these debit cards and stuff, you still would need a loan. So I would tell you, use a pledge loan or a fresh start loan. Okay, so you have pledge loans, then and places where you want to go to, I would say use the credit unions. I would definitely encourage you to go to the credit unions. Like I said, if you're not able to get into Navy Federal Credit Union, you have Andrews Credit Union, right? You have Andrews, you have Alliant Credit Union. Who else? Andrews, Alliant. Here's one. This is a very good one too. And I'll put the video up so you can actually see the ones that I really talk about. And I talk about this. Part of Credit Union, okay? And so they actually, with Part of Credit Union, they actually have the pledge loans, which is very good. And they're more flexibility, okay? Now, one of the ones that's actually taking the gloves off because they're trying to fight for the corner market with Navy Federal is First Tech. Guys, if you're able to, I would definitely encourage you to join First Tech. First Tech, they're really stepping their game up. Okay, and so that way, these are some of the credit unions. Now, in terms of if you're looking for a loan and you're trying to get multiple trade lines and stuff like that, then you want to go with places like MoneyLion. Now, in reference to MoneyLion, the maximum they'll give you is $1,000. Okay, then you have OppLoans. Now with OppLoans, they're going to give you anywhere from $500 to up to $4,000. Okay, and they work with if you have a recent bankruptcy. So they'll work with you if you have a recent bankruptcy. All right, so that's indie loans. Okay, now the thing about indie loans, you can get it, but they don't report to the credit bureaus. I'll put a link below so you can actually check them out yourself. But in indie loans, like they'll give you a loan because they offer not only payday loans, installment loans, and personal loans, but the thing about it is they won't report it to the credit bureau unless you miss a payment or something like that. Other than that, you qualify for the loan. Again, no credit check, meaning that's going to be a soft pull. If you're in a current bankruptcy and stuff like that, that itself may make it more challenging for you to actually get a loan and stuff like that. But if you're in a bankruptcy and you're still trying to build your credit and stuff, then I would definitely, I think it's Etra. It may not be Extra, it may be Etra. So excuse me for the mispronunciation on that. It may be Etra. So E-T-R-A or Extra. One of the two. But that's the debit card. What I'll do, I will actually put the correct spelling in the video so you can actually see it. But like with Etra, Zorro, Credit AI, these are your top ones, okay? They're only focusing on your income, okay, and your transactions, your monthly transactions done with your debit card and your bank account. So that's the reason these are much easier to get these here cards with no credit check and let them help build your credit. Because if you're paying car loans, car insurance, rent, cable, you know, student loans and stuff like that. Even though you have a student loan, why not also get it reporting twice in a combined of all the transactions done with your debit card, okay, to help boost up your credit score. So this is Houston with Three-Way Funding. Again, for those of you that's just finding the channel, welcome. Please don't forget to subscribe. And for those of you that's been following me and supporting me, as always, salute.